There's a lot of stuff going on in the world now. What are we going to do about it? Well, the title of this one is probably the most bold I've ever made, but we're going to find out what's really happening. Like, look at this stuff. These are copies I made a long, long time ago when I was studying alphabets. There's 22 letters right here. And you see this is the Hebrew alphabet, so it goes backwards from right to left. See this one up here? That's the letter Aleph. But that's not Hebrew. It's actually Assyrian, which became the Babylonian script that we adopted, and we still call it modern Hebrew. Some of us. But the real Hebrew is being rediscovered. And this is why the Hebrew roots is so dangerous to the Christians and to the people that practice Yahudaism or Judaism. The Hebrew script is reappearing on the earth. A lady named Margaret St. Peter on Amazon.com is publishing these books on what we call not Hebrew, but the original word, Eberith. Eberith. See the E-B-R? That's the word Eber. And that word, Eber, is in the word Hebrew. Just put an H in front of this, and you've got Heberith. Well, they added that to disguise it, maybe, or to distort it. But Hebrew is really Eberith. And this is a book that you can get from Margaret St. Peter through Amazon. Just look up this word, Eberith, and you'll find her. She's the only one really using this word. This is the original word. Paleo-Hebrew letters, and these are in this book you get 70 vocabulary words in the real script. This is a Hebrew word discovery series, book 1. Book 2, this has been reissued actually, and this is the Paleo grammar, 100 vocabulary words and how to use them. And these books are inexpensive. These are basic books. And in this one, I've got it bookmarked for you. It's going to show you the first letter. I showed you the Aleph in the Assyrian script, right? Remember that? That's the letter A that we adopted. But actually not this one. See that letter A up there that I showed you? That one right there. That's what they called the letter Aleph. Well, here's the real letter Aleph, right here. See, and this is a large print book. This is a Baith, kind of like a backwards B. It looks like a G, actually, in our script. But that's a Gimel, and that's a Daleth, right here, the Daleth. Now, this word, right, this letter, Aleph, if you turn it 90 degrees, it looks like the letter A in Greek and Latin. And we actually get our vowels and consonants from this book. And it's got exercises for you to write the letter over and over. And a lot of explanatory notes regarding what the letters sound like and how to write them. And it's really, really amazing. And that's just 2 of the books. She's got a book for every letter. Aleph, Baith, Gimel, Daleth, Hey. There's Gimel. That's a book on Gimel. These are large print books. And there's Daleth. See, that's the first letter in the word David, or Daoud. There's a Hey. That's the letter. This is a word study on the letter Hey. And that's what it looks like. It doesn't look like a little man standing up with his arms up. That's Egyptian stuff. Zayin. It looks like a backward Z. But that's the book on Zayin. It's a whole book dedicated to each letter. And there's puzzle and activity books that you can get from her using these letters. And how to make sentences. And the Hebrew roots movement is bringing back the original script. It's a good thing, because the truth is finally going to get out. I'm going to put these back. Hey. And there is the name of the Creator. It's written from right to left. Yod, Hey, Uah, Hey. It's right there. It's all over this, actually. It's the stone with the Ten Commandments in Hebrew, real Hebrew. So anyway, the thing we're going to jump into today is how to show that Christianity is actually a false belief system, and why. And this is not directed at people, so let's jump into this real quick. How to tell, this is a video study on how to tell Christianity is false. Well, the first Natsarim were given the name Natsarim when he said, Ani Hagafen, I am the vine, Atah HaNatsarim, you are the Natsarim. That's what we are. The word Christianos is used 3 times in the Greek texts, and it's actually a term of scorn that was used at first in Antioch by the people of Antioch, who accused the first followers of Yahushua to be idiots. And the word Christianus originally meant Cretan, or some unsavory person. How to tell Christianity is false? Well, what is highly thought of among men is an abomination in the sight of Elohim. That's a statement by Yahushua at Luke 16. And Revelation 18, 1 through 5 says this. It's about the fall of Babel. And after this, I saw another messenger coming down from the heaven, having great authority, and the Eretz, that's the earth, was lightened from his esteem. And he cried with a mighty voice, saying, Babel the Great is fallen, and has become a mishkan of demons. That means a dwelling place of demons. A haunt for every unclean ruach, and a haunt for every unclean and hated bird. Because all the Guim, that's the nations, the Gentiles, have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her whoring, and the kings of the Eretz have committed whoring with her. And the merchants of the Eretz have become rich through the power of her riotous living. And I heard another voice from the heavens saying, Come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, and lest you receive of her plagues, because her sins have piled up to reach the heaven, and Yahuah has remembered her disobediences. Unquote. Now this is a track I want to mention here. You can download from TorahZone.net. It's called Idolatry. And what has happened is the world economy is embracing, if you just look at all the big department stores and grocery stores that set up little zones within their stores that adopt whatever the next world economy pagan practice is going to be. In other words, like they sell Christmas trees and pumpkins and fertility stuff like Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day. They decorate with all these little things that they sell you to decorate your home or your business. And these are all basically not of Yahuah. They're actually based upon fertility practices that were brought in. And it drives the world economy. People decorate and they have parties and they have birthdays and celebrate all these pagan practices that are actually witchcraft. They're rebellious. And people don't care. They don't know because they're sleepwalking, because they've been programmed. Get the idolatry tract at torazone.net, and it's just called Idolatry, Mankind's Most Prominent Activity. And in it, you'll find out about the fertility of the Olympic Games and who it's really dedicated to, the flying of the torch, running around with a torch, lighting an altar at the games, and who that's dedicated to. It talks about repetitive prayers, the folding of the hands in prayer is actually a Hindu symbol of namaste, and it's all pointing to practices that we inherited from our fathers down through the ages from a culture of Nimrod. Christianity is the result of Constantine's merger with his sun worship. He appeared in the mid to the late, early 4th century, like 321, when he made Sunday an edict, the Edict of Constantine. He made Sunday dedicated to his sun deity, and all shops were ordered to be closed, and business was to shut down, and people were to honor Sol Invictus, which was his word for title for Apollo. Anyway, it's his merger of all this sun worship into Christianity was adopted, and it's comprised of all the traditions adopted and repurposed from pagan fertility practices, like Easter is actually literally the same word, Ishtar. And they practice the birthday of Sol Invictus on December 25th. Christmas Day is what they call it, the birthday of the sun. And they also have what they call Sunday. That's the first day of the week. The Sabbath was outlawed for Christians at the Council of Laodicea. But Yahuah said we should pray our flight, not be in winter or on a Sabbath day. Read Matthew 24, verse 20. We're Natsarim, and he named us. Just read Yahuah or John chapter 15, verse 5. And read Acts 24, verse 5. Paul was accused of being a ringleader of the sect of the Natsarim, not the sect of the Christians. Look up the Creed of Constantine to learn why Christians are so disobedient. The scriptures prove that Christianity is not true. That sounds pretty oddball, doesn't it? But it's true. The scriptures themselves prove that Christianity is not true. They have their own format of being right, but they deny the authority of Scripture. You can't live that way. That's done away. Well, if they're believing and obeying every word of Yahuah, then that's not even in their wheelhouse. Believing and obeying every word of Yahuah, the obedient are considered heretics. Read Revelation 12, verse 17, and it's also mentioned in Revelation 14, that those who obey the commandments of Elohim and hold to the testimony of Yahuah have enraged the dragon. If you're obeying commandments, the dragon is enraged, not Yahuah. And also read Revelation 22:14. And it says, blessed are those doing his commandments, that they might have the right to the tree of life and to enter the gates of the city. Well, here we have Spiritual Captivity, which you can order from Amazon.com or torazone.net. It's a book. It's my last book, actually, from addressing the problems that people have with their families when they suddenly wake up. Their family doesn't want to talk to you about these things to your face because they get enraged, because their programming is conflicted when you tell them the truth. They have what we call cognitive dissonance. It sends them into a mental pain, and it makes them feel uncomfortable. So when you tell them the truth to their face, the conversation doesn't last very long. But this little book will help introduce to them the truth in a neutral way, and it invites them to check this out because we're in the age of information now. They can check it out. Merchants grow rich, selling their popular pagan seasonal celebrations and their decorations. All pastors' traditions embrace Sunday assemblies and steeples, which are forbidden at Leviticus 26, verse 1. And they're silent about costumes, trees, wreaths, pumpkins, birthday cards, candy rabbits and eggs. And they're silent about birthdays and the celebration of blowing out candles on a cake, which is witchcraft. My book, Strong Delusion, will bring that out very carefully. This drives the world economy. And this is why Babel is going to fall. It's going to fall because there's a new reign coming. And it's called the reign of Yahuah. Look up and Google the word Yahuah. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you in the next exciting video.